And this week's set of Bamidbar, following the census taken of Klal Yisrael, in which all of the Shvatim, other than one, have their count taken in accordance with all of the men who have reached the age of 20 or older, thus enabling them to enter into the Tzava, into the army of Klal Yisrael. The Psukim instruct us that the one Shevet that was exempt from that minoi, from that accounting, was that of Levi. For regarding Levi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu turns to Moshe Rabbeinu and he says, "Pekodes b'nei Levi leveisav asam mishpachasam kol zachar mi ben chodesh v'mala tifkedem." That when it comes to the b'nei Levi, they are not to be counted, the sons of Levi, from the age that they reach 20 years and older, but rather they are specifically to be counted from the time that they reach 30 days and older. Says Rashi, citing the Gemara in Shabbos, "Mishayotzem echam nefolim hu nimne likare shomer mishmeres hakodesh." From the moment that a child reaches 30 days of age, and we could rather safely state and conclude that he's going to live, he will not be a nefel, that he's going to live and will have a life ahead of him, then at that point already, the member of Levi, the son born into the Shevet, the tribe of Levi, he's counted as being not simply a member of Klal Yisrael, but rather he is counted amongst those referred to as the Shomer Mishmeresh, the guardians of that which guards Klal Yisrael, namely the Mishkan in the center of the camp of Israel, referring to the Torah, housing the Torah HaKadosha in the Aron Habris. And asked the Medrash, how is it possible to speak of a person being counted from the age of 30 days? We don't know that he's going to grow up, and he's going to measure up, and he's going to even want to be in the force guarding such a davar, such a thing that is so central to the purpose and the meaning and the future of Klal Yisrael. How do we know that that child will turn into the individual who will be within the vanguard of the B'nai Levi, who will be charged and will rise to the challenge of doing so? And suggests the Mayim Beis Sheweva of Schwab Zasali says, it's all a question of chinuch. It's all a question of education. Because if the parents, if the father and the mother love that child to bits and make that child understand that there is no individual in life who's more important to him or to her than he himself, then that child will be filled with such a love, an unconditional love, that he'll grow up with a sense of certitude and confidence. But as that child grows up, says the Mayim Beis Sheweva, the child has to understand that even though the father loves him unashir, without any kind of qualification whatsoever, there is one scenario in which the love of the father would be directed away from the child and it would be directed elsewhere. And when is that? When the father will hear the bidding or the call or the tzivi, the command of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And in that instant, the father will in fact display to the child that his love from HaKadosh Baruch Hu is even greater than the love that he has for his child. Not because he isn't a father from beginning to end, but because that type of love is the love that all of us are to aspire towards. And that type of love is the type of love that all of us are to see resides within each and every one of us in order to do the bidding of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And says Rav Schwab, isn't that in fact the type of chinuch that Moshe Rabbeinu describes at the end of the Torah HaKadosha in the Seder of Zos HaBracha when referring to B'nai Levi? And Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Ha'omer la'aviv u'le'imo lo re'isiv ve'es achav lo hikir ve'es banov lo yada." By the mice of the Chet HaEgo, when Moshe Rabbeinu descended from Har Sinai, and he saw the disarray that was caused by the children of Israel who had fashioned the Egel HaZahav, the golden calf, and he turned to them and he said, "Mi Lashem Elai," whoever is justly and truthfully loyal to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, let him indeed draw near and rally around me to do the bidding of God. And we know that the only tribe that answered, responded affirmatively, was the house of Levi. And they came saying to themselves effectively, they were ready to take up the sword, if it would be necessary, against their own Zayda, against their own grandfather on the maternal side, not being a Levi, or against a half-brother born to one's common mother, but being a non-Levi, a Yisrael, or even regarding one's Enocho, one's grandson, born to one's daughter who was married to a Yisrael, giving birth to a Yisrael. And should indeed the need arise, lo aleinu, to take issue to the mortal end against a grandfather, a brother, or a grandson, if it is at the behest and the choice of God over that individual, then that person was ready to make it. Such was the gevura, the inner strength, the devotion, the dedication, and the supremacy of the love that the B'nai Levi had for God, such that they were ready to act upon it. Where did they get such a love? That such a love could only come from a chinuch, from an education provided by a parent that doesn't begin at bar mitzvah 13, running through 20 years of age, but begins when a child is 30 days in life, 30 days old. And a child, as he grows up, and initially all of his needs are thrust upon one's parent to be fed and to be changed, to be coddled and cuddled, to be disciplined and inspired, to be cogently directed. But all of the chinuch that goes into the underlying message to the child is, all of this is a display and a function of the love that I have for you. But all of this is ultimately secondary to the bidding that all of us answer to, which is the tzivay of Hashem Yisparach. Such a chinuch, says Rav Schwab, indeed can facilitate the counting of a child of Levi from the age of 30 days. Because when the people of the Shevet of Levi are promised to such an education and such a life, then you can rest assured that each and every child of that Shevet receiving such an education, Be'ezus Hashem Yisparach, with a smiling face and assistance of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, will indeed ultimately stand tall, firm, and proudly in the vanguard of Shomrei Mismeresh HaKodesh. And I thought to myself how beautiful this is, because I read an article this week regarding individuals in Eretz Yisrael, of course, because our mind is always on Eretz Yisrael on a daily basis, and particularly this week, with tomorrow being Yom Yerushalayim. And it's an article describing individuals who describe themselves as the real Naturi Karta. Thus meant the real Naturi Karta, the real guardians of the city of Jerusalem, of Yerushalayim and HaKodesh. These are people, religious soldiers in the border police, who guard the area of Yerushalayim and HaKodesh, protecting the city, protecting its citizens, protecting the Makomos HaKadoshim. And even though the article goes on to say that whereas all of them come from Geula and Me'esharim, from all of the neighborhoods that we would commonly refer to as the most religious neighborhoods, the Haredi neighborhoods, and at times they receive flack and they receive shtuchs, as it were, from people on the street looking at them in their uniforms with their yarmulkes on their head in wonder, saying, "What are you doing? It's not Purim. What are you dressing up as?" And they effectively turn to them and they say, "At night, we look just like you. We dress just like you. But during the day, we stand in the Mishmeres HaKodesh, in the vanguard on behalf of Yerushalayim, in the vanguard for the place towards which all of our tefillos are sent and are pitched and are poised, in the vanguard of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. For isn't it HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, who the Navi Yeshaya describes as turning to us and says, I have appointed Shomrim, I have appointed guardians, watchmen, either upon the walls of Yerushalayim HaKodesh or to protect the walls of Yerushalayim HaKodesh. And how long is their guard? They don't guard at day and sleep at night. Their guard is all day and all night. Tamid lo yechashu. Always, every moment, every second of the day, without silence. Hamaskirim es Adonai. For those indeed who stand in such a unit, remind HaKadosh Baruch Hu, are to remind God, Al dami lachem. Please do not remain silent. And comes along the Radak and he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is enjoining Klal Yisrael, Lo yihi lachem dameu shtika. You should never be silent. V'hispalel lefodav tamid, and you should always be davening in front of him, always daven to me. V'shivchu lefonav levavchem, says in Rabbi Shaya, and constantly pour your hearts out before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ad yichonen Yerushalayim b'chomoseha u'bevinyana, until its walls can be sturdy and erect, until its walls can be strengthened. The Asima Tehila Ba'aretz, and the splendor of the Eibush of HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be found throughout the world, radiating forth from the city of Jerusalem. And this, of course, refers, whether it refers to the Avos HaKadoshim, to the Malachim, to the Avelei Tzion, or whether it refers to those in Golus, says the Radak. All of these are enjoined by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continue your tefillos. Look at him. Be in the vanguard day and night. Hamazkirim es Adonai al dami lachem. Never to be silenced in your appreciation for Yerushalayim, in your understanding of its centrality to our people, in your evaluation of it as the most important place that we possess. Because indeed it is central to our people, central to our nation, central to our prayers, central to God, Shemayim Shamala, above as below. And it's ultimately the place that we will all be eager to, rejoicing in the appointment of a king and in the arrival of Mashiach. As we stand on the cusp of the Yom Yerushalayim, when we daven tonight, tomorrow, when we say Hallel, or for those who do not recite Hallel, but certainly in Shema Kolenu, we need to think of those people discussed in that article, standing in the vanguard of Yerushalayim, appreciating what we've been granted and gifted. And we need to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Yerushalayim and HaKodesh, where we learn, where we live, where we visit, where our children learn, where we walk its streets and appreciate the stones upon which we tread. That which our grandparents or great-grandparents were certainly not zochen to be afforded that experience. Let us appreciate and understand what it means to be Shomrei Mishmeres Hashem, based upon our loyalty, our fealty, based upon our appreciation of exactly what we in this generation have been handed. Have a wonderful Shabbos.